what do you think you've been able to do to keep you here?
The number one word I would probably say is adapt. I think the game changes every once in a while.
That's real.
But when I say adapt, I also didn't change myself.
Right.
I just adapted myself to the situations at hand. And I don't, to be honest, I didn't really have, I didn't have like a mentor or anybody to show me this, how to adapt.
Right.
It just kind of was off experience. It was kind of off of watching the people around that I was able to have close enough eyesight. Because I coming up under Clue, they were under the branch of the Rockefeller camp and stuff too. So I got to see a lot of. I didn't see the real details, but I got to see how people was moving. So I took some of that, mixed it with what I do, and I think that's really was my number one, recipe to just being observant and being able to adapt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I can respect that. Life is a series of adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? From the time you're born to the time you die, you adjust and adjust and adjust and adjust and adjust. You stop adjusting, you start dying. That's kind of what kept me here, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just finding different ways to adjust. Luckily for me, I got like 17,000 parts of myself, so whenever one of them isn't working, I just tap into another one. Yeah. I mean, but you have, from fashion to music, just to pop culturally relevant, like you've maintained a certain level of seniority over the years, and I ain't never seen nobody say, man, Fab getting old. I don't know how the fuck, like, me, I got kids that are, I got a 23-year-old, I got a sophomore in college, you know what I'm saying? So it's easy for a motherfucker, and then they watch them grow up.
Yeah.
So it's easy for a motherfucker to look at me and say, man, Tip getting old as hell.
Right.
Nigga, I look younger than you.
Right.
But
Right.
I've never heard that about Fab.
Well, on the kids' side, I had kids late, so my kids are still young.
Right.
I got an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old, and on that, I try to adapt too. There, you know what I mean? I even fashion-wise, you got to be able to see what's going on, but you also got to know what fits you. Like you can't be out here trying to be somebody else or look like somebody else. You just got to see what's going on and say, all right, how can I adapt to that, or how can I be myself in what's going on right now?
How can I fit into what's happening?
Right.
Without compromising.
Without compromising yourself. That's it. That's
now you said you had children late, and I acknowledge that. However, you also have a stepdaughter.
I do.
That is older.
I do.
How is your stepdaughter?
She is 21.
21. Okay, I have a 23-year-old. Most people on the outside looking in would call her my stepdaughter, but since I've had her since she was 4 years old, she's my daughter.
Yeah, and I had mine since she was 6. So that's like.
Okay, so and now your stepdaughter, she is much like mine, involved with a young man who is in the same industry, of the same lifestyle as we are. How does that make you feel? And I'll share how I feel about it too.
I mean, of course I was watchful, but I tried not to be judgmental because I know how we are judged. You know what I'm saying? I know how from just walking in the room and you having the title of a rapper, you automatically the bad boy, you doing wrong, you infidelity. You have all of those, and not to say that those titles they not. Every stereotype comes from
experience,
right? You know what I mean? They don't come out of nowhere. So I do understand it, but at the same time, I try to let me not judge them until I know them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's what I wanted to do with him. You know what
that
I'm saying?
Makes sense, man. That makes sense, man. I have a completely
got a different perspective.
I have a completely different approach. You know what I'm saying? With me, it's fuck this nigga till he show me otherwise. You dig what I'm saying? And I must say, man, the young man that she's dealing with, he's a cool cat. You know what I mean? He's a respectable young man. I even went so far as to check his background, man, where he from and whatnot, and his pedigree seems to come back without a tarnish. So I don't have anything negative to say about him. However, I am uncomfortable of what may potentially transpire in the future. But that's not any. Now that's my discomfort exclusively. I don't share that discomfort with her or him. I try not to let that, my level of discomfort bleed over into their happiness.
Right.
I just remain quietly uncomfortable
Yeah.
to myself.
Quiet uncomfortableness, though, it's a motherfucker, though, man. It's hard to be uncomfortable and stay quiet. Like
You dig what I'm saying?
You know why I don't like quiet uncomfortableness? Because even if the top don't blow in that situation, it might blow somewhere else.
Anytime, any given moment, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I am rooting. I'll admit this.
You rooting for
They've lasted much longer than I expected.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm rooting for them to go all the way.
Man, fathers don't get, mothers is mothers. But fathers is fathers. Like a real father, like that can't be like.
The thing is, right?